All right, welcome to the OpenJS Foundation board meeting for April 23rd, 2021. Brian, could you start us through it, please?
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. On the screen, we have the current OpenJS Foundation board directory. We haven't had any changes since last time. And our agenda for today, we will be approving the meeting minutes from the last board meeting. We'll go through a certification update. We have some updates from the CPC, and then we'll have a marketing update. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to the agenda? Not hearing anything, so we will go ahead and move forward. So first up, we have the meeting minutes. These were distributed out to the board. Would somebody like to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from the March 26th, 2021 public session of the Board of Directors?
Motion to adopt.
Thank you, Michael. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Great. Thank you, Gaurav. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Do we have any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, thank you. The meeting minutes are adopted. So first up, event update. Robin, would you like to take us through this?
Absolutely. The event is moving along. We're hitting all of our milestones. We just published our schedule 2 days ago with all of the folks who are presenting breakout sessions. And we also will be, we have it, our schedule tool in place. It's called Sketch. Many of you may have your app already, because our breakout speakers are going to be scheduling like one-on-one or group time to engage with folks who watch their session at their leisure, but then they will sign up for a couple of sessions in different time zones. So look for that. And if you go onto our Slack channel, you will find that we have our event tracks already established. So if you have not joined our Slack channel, I encourage you to do so. So when our event comes, you know where to find all of our speakers. And then when you build your schedule, you know where to find them. So that's coming along. So that's pretty cool. And as you know, we also announced as part of our overall event that we are going to be back live with a hybrid event in 2022 in Austin. So that's good. It's coming up. Everything's coming up pretty quickly. Our recordings are due at the end of May, which just seems around the corner. And if you haven't done so already, would really appreciate any way for you all to help amplify. We'd love to drive sort of registration so we can keep you updated on the latest and greatest people who will be speaking. All right.
Before you go on, Robin, could you just say a few words about the survey that the Linux Foundation did about in-person events?
Absolutely. The Linux Foundation published a blog this past week and surveyed folks who had attended conferences from ours to many others at the Linux Foundation, whether it's KubeCon or Cloud Native or CDCon. Had quite a big response rate, and really the question was, how comfortable are you traveling to an in-person conference by September, October, November? What we found is domestically people were willing to travel within their own country, up to like 64%, but not so much internationally. So that is making, I think we were all maybe a little optimistic that we may have some global events in Q4, but looking at that survey data, and of course we're watching the world's data every day, it's, kind of making everybody sort of reevaluate kind of the in-person event approach for Q4. So I encourage you to go to the LF blog and you can go through the deck with all of that data. Yeah, thanks for flagging that, Todd.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving on to certification.
Yeah, boy, we've had some So many great new things to announce with certification. First of all, for all of you who bought a certification exam during that big blowout sale, thanks, that's amazing. And we want to hear from you and how you like it. I know Rachel has been profiling folks who've taken it and like it, and she's been retweeting a lot of folks. So give us a shout if you've done that. We also have the exam in Chinese, so we're seeing some uptick there. Also a lot of interest, you know, we have a training program that you could take just to improve your skills, or you can take it to maybe help you prepare for the certification exam. And we launched a free training and it's been quite popular. Another thing that OpenJS has sort of been doing kind of a pilot beta on for the LF is what's called the environment preview. It's sort of like a practice test, although I wouldn't use it as sort of the basis on the questions. I think you still really need to study for that, but it gives you an idea of the testing experience. It's VM based, and so it's free and it's offered for a limited time. So check that out on our website. And also, if you work for maybe a bigger or mid-sized company, we have corporate subscriptions is available as well. So reach out to us. Your company may actually already have a subscription service with Linux Foundation training where you would get a great discount in buying the Node certification exam. And then today is the last day. There is a secondary sale that the LF offered, which includes our exam, and that ends, gosh, I think Rachel told me midnight tonight, perhaps. I'm not sure what time zone.
At midnight Pacific, so 11:59 p.m. Pacific, yes.
Awesome, great. And for all of you who work with our wonderful members who are represented, many of who are represented here on this call, we do have discounts as well. And if you've signed up to be a citizen of JavaScriptlandia, you also receive a 10% discount on your certification and training programs. All right. So JavaScriptlandia update. We have over 280 supporters to date. You can find your name on our website, but it's going to look much more awesome at our event. We're going to be building out a sort of an online passport and open up stamps from all of our 37 projects. And so that development work is in place. So you will have a profile that you can collect your badges from your favorite OpenJS Foundation projects. And as we get through that on June 2nd, we'll start reaching out to our friends outside the foundation as well, if you're fans of other JavaScript projects. We're also, if you haven't seen, you know, if you're a member of JavaScriptlandia, you get a newsletter with some sort of, you know, backstage happenings at OpenJS. If you're, it kind of consolidates a lot of the work that you would find on GitHub with our cross-project council. And also, if you're a member of our Slack, you should join our JavaScriptlandia Slack channel so we can get to know you better as well. All right. CPC update.
Right, so this time we don't have any project-related updates. In terms of the collaboration network, we're still working through kicking off the package vulnerability management and reporting collaboration space, but I'm hopeful that that's going to happen in the next few weeks, so keep your eyes open on that. Next page. In terms of charter updates, which we report on at every board meeting, there hasn't been anything new since the last meeting, so next page. In terms of the ongoing work, if you follow the CPC, you'll know that the team has moved from a every week meeting to an every other week meeting, with the alternate weeks being used for working sessions. And we've had a number of working sessions over the last month. One, it was you know, back to the JavaScriptlandia that Robin just gave us an update on. You know, sort of discussing how we help, the members promote the different projects that they're interested in and involved in, what that should look like, and those kinds of things. The other one was a session on kind of the strategy vision of projects within the OpenJS Foundation. Are there ones that we should be going out and inviting, and that kind of work? So that was another interesting discussion. The ones that we've reported on in the past in terms of discussions on improving the diversity, as well as doing a revisit of our overall code of conduct reporting processes. Those are still underway, and you can follow the specific progress in the actual GitHub issues in the repo itself. So I think that's the CPC updates, still ongoing work on some longer timeline type things, as well as some great working sessions to sort of kick off some new initiatives as well. So maybe on to the next section.
Yeah, brings us to our marketing update. Rachel.
Sure. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So for our blog, we're continuing to just pump out really great content. One of the things I do want to point out is we just finished a sale the middle of this month for Node.js certification and training. We saw a big bump, largely in part to some of the blogs that we put out around certification and training. So that's really great to see. A lot of interest and curiosity around what we have going on with certifications and trainings. Next slide, if there are no questions. Here are our website metrics. We saw some pretty good size bumps, specifically regarding how we performed over last month. And that's largely in part to the sale that we did have. You can kind of look at the referral traffic and see that, the Linux Foundation training site actually referred some traffic to us, which isn't necessarily typical outside of a sale. So I think that's also really great to see, just overall. Any questions? If none, we can move to the next. So for social media, we continue to do really well around sentiment. Our goal is always to remain over 90%. So it's good to see that we're continuing that trend. We did dip a little bit this month, and we'll continue to kind of watch that. It kind of goes with the territory up and downs. One of the things we did try this month is a little bit of promotion around the certification, and that's what those yellow bars are on the impressions. So as you can see, our organic tweets definitely performed better than our promoted tweets. So it's always kind of good to see what works within our community. And this is kind of what we're learning. Any questions about Twitter performance? Okay, hearing none, we can head to, I think it's LinkedIn. I should have this memorized by now, right? LinkedIn is doing great. We continue to have, really stellar sentiment on LinkedIn. Love to see those spikes around that March 29th spike is when we kicked off our sale. So it's super great to see the engagement, around those social posts. And we're just, as far as followers go, we continue just to kind of tick away. It's pretty consistent around, month over month, how many followers we're getting. Any questions on LinkedIn? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Hearing none, we can go to the next, which is YouTube. We are about on par with last month. This month we did a Q&A with WebDriver. So it's really nice to see when we put on that new content that those, those views end up really like driving good viewership, and it's awesome to see those things in the top 5 videos. And we'll continue to do more of these. This seems to be a really fun and low lift opportunity for our projects to get involved and get some of their messages out. Any questions on YouTube? Great. And I think that is the end of the marketing update. Yes.
Yes, thank you. That brings us to the end of our content. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add? All right.
Sounds like we don't have any more for today, Brian. So again, as usual, thank you to all of the staff and the contributors to our various projects out there for your continued participation. And we'll call to close the foundation board meeting. This is Todd Moore, your chairman.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I guess we'll talk to you next month.
Yeah.
Then.
Thanks
a lot.
Todd.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.